welcome everybody to the 69th episode
Oh, bro.
of Fat Guys on a Little Podcast. I'm your co-host, Steve Mark. You know he's joined by
Charles is here.
And today we're going to push my diabetes to the edge.
We're going to check that. Anyone got any, finger pricks out there?
Yeah.
We need to know.
Don't have any congratulations this week. A lot of lawn work this week. We had the daughter doing that, and I had a neighbor doing my lawn randomly. I don't know what happened there. Tabitha does now have the update on Tabitha's house, in case anyone's wondering. She does now have a kitchen table with some chairs, so that's
Congratulations. No more TV dinners.
Yes. And now she's got this move. I'm telling you, it's kind of fascinating. I'm learning a lot more about snakes than I ever want to learn in my life. So she has a glass like fish container, but it doesn't quite get moist enough.
Okay.
So she has to get a plastic tote and poke holes in the top of it, and sometimes she stores them in there. And I don't know.
It creates like a hot, moist environment?
Yeah. So she's learning all these different environments.
Can't she replicate that in an aquarium?
Probably, but she probably has to buy certain things and stuff like that. Right now, the
poor
man's way to do is poke holes in a lid.
Okay.
So if you ever see a snake in a plastic box, that's because it needs to be moist. Who knew?
I always saw it in a bag and a turnbuckle.
That's true. Scaring Andre the Giant. Bobby. And we'll have some wrestling news straight from Saudi Arabia today.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting. But first up, Charles, let's tell us why we're all going to practice our diabetes.
Yeah, so I saw this on social medias. I saw this on Instagram because I follow a bunch of snack people on Instagram.
That's good for a guy trying to lose weight.
Well, it's good because we always need taste tests. So it's always great. So I saw this. This is from Target. This is Market Pantry, the Target brand. But this is sugar cookie milk.
Oh, jeez. Don't give me a full glass. Like a shot's worth.
Yeah, it's 200 calories. It just says, don't drink if you're diabetic on this. I don't know what that means. But anyway, I figured it's that time of year. The one thing I do, I love sugar cookies. I bought Sugar Cookie Crunch. I love sugar cookies.
Peanut butter cookie here. This is what I like.
Dude, I can't get enough goddamn sugar. You give me an iced sugar cookie.
You and Holly, if a cookie with icing on it, Holly Cookie Monsters it, man. She just goes crazy.
I don't know what it is. Like, it's that inner kid of me. I just can't get enough sugar.
Side note, I bought my daughter, she loves brownies with icing on them.
I don't like, that's too much. It's too rich.
She loves it. So I bought her
prick her finger.
I brought her brownie mix and icing, the frosting. You know that little turd didn't make the brownie and just ate the frosting?
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Every morning she gets up, takes 2 spoonfuls of frosting, and it's like a shot of cocaine in the morning for her. I'm good to go. Got my frosting in. So I thought that was funny. My daughter is the worst when it comes. For breakfast this morning, she ate a Reese's Cup, and then she ate...
Is that enough?
That's enough. And then she ate the icing, and then something else terrible. Oh, and then mini muffins. That was her breakfast. And don't worry, Michelle, we'll bring you.
It looks like regular milk.
Yeah,
it's probably just got some chemicals, some fructose.
Oh, it smells like a cookie.
Does it?
Yeah, smell it. What is the grams of sugar in this?
4.
That's it. Good to go.
26 total carbohydrates, 26 total sugar.
They told me never go past 8. I said 26 in one shot.
Well, I gotta tell you, that's delicious. That tastes like like a liquid sugar cookie.
It really does.
That's unbelievable.
It's like if you ate a really sugary cereal, and this is the milk left over.
Yeah, wow. Mama, that's good.
If I had a choice between this or eggnog, I would take this.
It was in that section at Target, rather.
Yeah, Michelle will love that.
That is delicious. She can take the rest of it home.
That's almost like shake level.
Yeah, that is really good.
If you're into sugar cookies, how much did what is that, a quarter?
It's like $3 or something like
What is that, quarter gallon? What is that?
I think it's a quart.
Yeah, a quart of sugar cookie milk at your local Target, $3. As long as you don't have diabetes, you may have it after drinking a whole thing of that.
That is super tasty, man.
That's a big thumbs up. That's a total 180 from our pickle moonshine.
Oh, my God. Thank God.
We were both ready to vomit last week.
We righted the ship on that one. This is awesome. Man.
Oh, man. Michelle is really still hooked on that peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah?
Myers has it. She's been, once we run out, I'm getting some more. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow. She's like, that's her go-to. Is that her, like, I had a rough day at work? She comes
give me a shot of the hard stuff. Peanut butter whiskey. Yeah, Wiggs hit a home run with that one. He told us about that. So there we go.
Yeah, big thumbs up for sugar cookie milk.
Charles got to polish it off. Now, what if you had? Would you dip an Oreo in that? Oh,
I'm not a
man.
bit. See, this is where I know a lot of people are going to call me an asshole, but I don't like Oreos. I don't like Oreos at all.
I can see that. I mean, I did love them.
Heather will stab you for an Oreo.
Those were the good old days.
Yeah.
But, yeah, a double stuffed Oreo,
Yeah.
and you take the top off each one, and then put it together. And you got like a quadruple stuffed Oreo. Oh man,
I much prefer a soft batch or like a chewy Chips Ahoy. I'm definitely down with that.
see. I like the harder cookie to dip in the milk and to eat.
No, I'm a soft
I like
cookie
that.
guy.
I'm a harder cookie.
That's
guy.
like with my sugar cookies. I don't like them really thin and crispy. I like them fat and doughy. You know what I mean?
like a good pecan sandy.
so dry.
Oh, with some milk.
I dip that in this.
I do love a pecan sandy. The only old man cookie I don't like is oatmeal. I'm not a fan of oatmeal.
Oh, I like an iced oatmeal.
No,
I do like
you
an
and
iced
Dad
oatmeal.
do.
Yeah, I always have. Don't put any raisins in the damn thing. Get out of here with them raisins.
What about the
sun-dried
random,
grapes?
Little pieces of almonds sometimes you get in an
I'm okay
oatmeal
with that.
cookie.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Got no
So there
issue
we
there.
go. Big thumbs up for sugar cookie
Sugar
milk. Now, what
cookie
did they
milk.
have other brands or flavors there?
They just had like the basic nogs, like a pumpkin, eggnog or something like that. But this was, I specifically went there because I told Heather, I go, dude, you're gonna find sugar cookie milk. She's looking at me like I'm a crazy person. I'm darting through Target. I gotta get the sugar cookie, and they had it. I was super juby. I was like, yes. The other thing they had too is a cereal ice cream, and it must, to your point, had that vibe, that leftover milk that they made into like an ice cream base. Target is knocking it out of the park with market pantry stuff. 'Cause
Any kind of ice cream or
that is a
candy you want.
huge. There's no 6 on that. That is a solid 10 from Charles. I'm just gonna say that right now. That is a delicious beverage.
So there you go. Sugar cookie milk. If you're into cookies and sugar cookies, and you don't have diabetes, it's probably good.
They do such, and I don't know how
26
they
grams of sugar says a diabetic probably shouldn't be drinking it.
they do such a fantastic. I don't know how chemically they're able to replicate flavors anymore. It's so incredible the way they can do that kind of stuff with those like jelly beans and all that stuff.
Now, we went today for dinner. We went extra healthy.
Oh, what'd you do?
We went and did that spaghetti squash again.
Oh, okay.
Made spaghetti.
You're loving that lately.
I made spaghetti, and then we used turkey meat in the spaghetti instead of...
Why don't you get a plant-based meat and do complete vegetarian option?
Because Michelle won't go for that.
Oh, okay.
But turkey meat's better than beef.
Did you get the Jenny O, the 93.7, the Jenny?
I don't know what kind. I think it was Jenny O. I
Yeah,
think that's
it's
the only
good.
kind you can get.
That's-
Really. And it was good. The only problem I find with the spaghetti squash, it's very juicy. So
It's wet.
It's wet. So then
Yeah.
you get like a lot of juice on your
plate.
I got to
yeah.
figure out a way to dry out the spaghetti.
Yeah, I
squash.
wonder if you could like do
There's
it
gotta
ahead
be
of
a way,
time and
right?
like you said, like kind of put it in like a colander in your fridge for a while before you cook it and let some of that run off. or
Yeah,
something.
because that's my only problem right now. I'd eat it more if it wasn't so damn. It's like such juicy mush.
Yeah.
Holly hates it. Absolutely hates it. She ate the bread and then she ate the
I
banana.
mean, you realize back to your 26 grams of fat with or 26 grams of sugar, like all bread products, man.
Yeah.
Pasta, bread, everything. But they're
Loaded.
so good, man. That's the one thing on this whole thing of like losing 40 pounds or whatever. I miss pasta. God, man. Pasta's delicious.
Charles Barkley, the wise man, said it. If it tastes good, spit it out.
Yeah, basically.
That's the key to dieting. If it tastes
It's
delicious,
tough, man.
puke that shit to the side.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to start with some reviews this week now that we're done being fat and talking about it. Wouldn't be the podcast, Fat Guys.
Yeah,
if we didn't talk
we gotta
about
live
some
up to
food.
the name.
But before we go to our list, I do want to say I did finish Goliath. Worst season out of the three of them.
Wow, okay.
So terrible.
My
ending.
in-laws are way into it. Heather's parents both like it. They kind of were talking to me about the almond thing as you were kind of touching on with the water rights and all
It
that.
got so that part's good, but they wrapped that up super quick. And then the last episode, like spoilers for anyone listening, but you shouldn't watch season 3 anyways. It's terrible. So Dennis Quaid's the main almond, and he has a sister. I don't know the actress playing it. She literally becomes like a serial killer, just starts murdering everybody, and even shoots Billy Bob Thornton. It's like,
It's way over the top
what?
at this point.
Yeah, she even attacks a woman with an almond tree shaker with a big ass machine. Like, I was like, And then he got all this drug stuff. It was a weird season.
Oh, man.
If they don't recoup it next year, I'm out. I'm telling you right now.
We often talk about it, and I always feel this. The second season of any show is always the best. I can name you 15 TV shows where season 2, because season 1 they're proving themselves and getting
and establishing the universe.
And then the second one they get to finish up that whole initial what their thought was. By the third season, we're starting to scramble.
Especially if they don't have an outline or a plan or a book series to follow.
Season 2 is the peak of 90% of television.
It was a rough season 3. They got to correct some stuff in season 4. I'm out. And also next week we will have on the podcast. I'll have my full review of Jack Ryan season 2. I have not.
They released it a day early. They released
on
it
Halloween instead of I have not watched it yet, so I will be watching.
People seem to be positive on it from what I was reading about and stuff like that. And you liked the first season a lot.
Yeah,
you wanted a little more tuna, a little more John Krasinski.
Yeah, because it seemed like he was just figuring things out, and then his boss would come in, and then him and his boss, but his boss ended up doing most of the action.
Yeah.
He's a veteran actor off of The Wire and stuff, and I can't think of his name right now.
The black guy, though.
He's really good. But
been in a lot of TV.
But you don't watch it for him. You're watching it for you want
to see
Ryan.
the tuna.
Yeah. So, but that'll be coming this week. But first, we're going to start this week with a great movie. 2 thumbs up from I think both of us.
Yes.
Dolemite is my name. Eddie Murphy on Netflix. Charles, what do you think?
So this is basically his return back to true comedy. This is a big thing because Eddie Murphy was paying a lot of bills and doing a lot of Shrek movies and all these other kid movies.
Yeah.
This is where he basically I didn't know I guess I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like a sequel to the Dolemite movie in a weird way, and like his own. I didn't know this was like a biopic on like how the movie Dolemite with Rudy Ray Moore, which is
I always forget his name,
which is what the character Eddie Murphy's playing in this movie. It shows you who he is with the comedy specials and how he kind of came to be this comedian, and then his into making this movie for what he thought everyone would want to see and love. And I got to tell you, folks, this is fantastic. Eddie Murphy, the way he used to be. Super funny dude. You just realize like why people love Eddie Murphy, and just I couldn't get enough of it. I was totally entertained by it.
All I gotta say is titties, explosions, and kung fu.
Dude. It's just, dude. You realize, man, Eddie Murphy, man.
It's like a movie if you just took a bunch of buddies and then you tried to make a real movie.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
And then there's so many people in it: Mike Epps, Craig Robinson, Wesley Snipes was in it. I didn't know that going
Chris Rock shows up.
Yeah, Chris Rock. Snoop Dogg's in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in it.
People.
I don't know how this thing get released at the theater. Whatever movie theater turned him down on this project.
Yeah, and
it's kind of stupid.
It did kind of its Goldberg thing, which I always love about the TV show, The Goldbergs on ABC, where I love any kind of movie where they show you the reality of it with and at the end of the movie they showed you the Dolemite movie and how.
And Amazon Prime has the Dolemite trilogy or whatever.
Okay.
The 7. I'm gonna watch that first one.
It turned out to be like the whole story behind him renting out that theater and stuff like that.
True.
It was great, man.
Yeah.
It was a super funny movie. I hope that Eddie Murphy's back to being Eddie Murphy again.
Right.
Like it just made me so much. You realize like this guy's a freaking gem. You know what I mean?
It
like
seems like this seems to work for celebrities. Where they're in their prime, and they do some stuff, and then they start tailing off, and then they disappear for a long period.
This is a Sylvester Stallone model, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
kinda?
or I was thinking more John Travolta. Remember?
Okay.
He was using
you realize like how endeared you are to certain people.
and then he showed up in Pulp Fiction, and then through the 90s, he just boom. And I think Eddie Murphy might be doing the same strategy.
I don't think you would say Eddie Murphy necessarily disappeared. He just didn't do the type of movies that I think we're talking about, is what I would say. Yeah. And he has 78 kids or something crazy.
Well, I mean, when's the last movie he's been in? Is probably mid-2000s, right? Pluto Nash, probably 2007 or 8. It's been a while.
I can look up his IMDb.
It's been a while, like so he's not cracking out a lot of stuff.
This is great. I hope Netflix paid him a mint, and I hope that he continues to do these type of movies, because me and you were totally tickled by it, and just like him filming the movie, it was real kind of guerrilla filming with the way they did it and stuff like that. Like
they did an excellent job.
Yeah, and they were stealing the power from the neighboring place.
Fun, great laughs, and I'm surprised it touched a little bit, but He just showed this guy's story, and this is what it was. It didn't dwell on like racism in the 70s or anything like that. It didn't try to do
because he was
thing.
trying to say like what people want. People want titties, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's all they want: action and titties.
That was great, and it was terrific.
God,
I love
great movie.
I've
I
always been
also,
lukewarm on movies from Netflix.
This is a good one.
And
This is a
one's
real good one for sure. I love Mike Epps. Like he's funny to me from like, and
He's
again,
in The
John
Hangover.
Witherspoon just passed away. It was from Fridays and all
You
that
just
kind
got
of
knocked
stuff.
the fuck out.
Yeah, like so
Pops.
It's just man, it was a good movie. I was totally entertained by it.
Yes, big thumbs up from both of us. This is probably my top 5 of Netflix movies.
Yeah,
I go with Bright with Will Smith. I like 999 with Ben Affleck.
I didn't like 999.
Didn't
That was the
I
one where
mean,
they
it
had
was
the drug money.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing I didn't like was weird when Affleck just got popped out of nowhere. It's like, oh, he's dead now. So I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah.
But those two aren't as good as Dolemite. I think Dolemite's the best.
Dolomite one's really
and the other
good.
two have honorable mention. Now, The Irishman's coming out with...
It released in theaters, but this is the Martin Scorsese,
yeah,
De
so
Niro,
this is going to be their next
Pesci.
big one on Netflix.
It's based on the Hoffa stuff.
Yeah, something
It
to do
looks
with
great. It looks great.
So hopefully this will live up to the Dolemite hype. And I hated Roma. Roma was terrible. I couldn't sit through that, and that's the one that got the award. Yeah. So now this next one, it came out this week. Charles and Mine's hero, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
Terminator Dark Fate. James Cameron was the producer. It was directed by the guy who directed Tim Miller, who directed the first Deadpool movie.
Well, this is a big deal because this is James Cameron's return to the Terminator franchise.
Right.
They've gone on and had 6 movies. Jim Cameron, as me and Arnold call him, was only attached to 2 of them, correct?
3. The first one, the second one, and now this one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So this is his return after the first 2.
Yeah, but he helped also, if you watch the credits, he has a writing credit, so he helped write it too.
Yeah, which is what he did with the first 2.
Yeah. So and when he directed the first 2 also. But I was telling Charles a little before the show, it's not a bad movie. I suggest people go see it. But it is, the knock on Force Awakens it was a retread of the first Star Wars. That's all this is, man. I'm telling you.
So they send back the one like Mexican guy who's a new form of Terminator.
Yes.
Now, but I think there's more wrinkles into it.
They took beat for beat plot line of the first one and then threw a couple wrinkles in.
Okay, because I'm like, we've got a T-800 who's aging in real life in Arnold. Mm-hmm. He's there. How do they explain how he's there? Is this spoilers?
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you?
No. Okay, I'm gonna go see it tomorrow. So don't.
Okay,
I legit am
but
gonna go see it tomorrow.
It's kind of stupid.
Okay. Because he killed himself at the end of T2.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I told you, what is the one plan Cyberdyne or Skynet has?
Send him back.
So apparently they did that with like 20 of them.
Okay.
Like every 2 years they had it set.
But
it was
they
almost like
killed
they set a
Cyberdyne.
Google timer. They killed Cyberdyne. It doesn't matter. It all still happens. And instead of Skynet, it's called Legion now.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's the same movie. It's just replaced Skynet with Legion. I'm telling you,
man. The other thing I don't like too is it was kind of my rub with the new Halloween movie where the old actress is super salty. Linda Hamilton is like super salty,
but
super BA.
They kind of explain why though in this.
Okay.
So it's hard to talk to you.
Yeah, just leave the spoilers out of it as best you can. But so there's the other chick who is a Wolverine type character with implementations. Correct?
Yeah. So in the future, they have the ability to add. She's called enhanced.
Okay.
So she's still human, but like she's got a little bit of like computer in her brain, so she sees almost like Schwarzenegger does. Okay. And then she has some abilities, but it only lasts for short bursts
because she's not full fledged.
Yeah, so she's always looking for like meds. She always needs like insulin and a couple other things to keep her
body
going.
Yeah.
Where the Mexican Terminator dude is just unstoppable. And he's a lot like the one from Terminator 2, where the
T-1000 was
comes
cool,
back
man.
together.
The T-1000 back in the day, dude.
It's a decent movie.
The milk, dude, with the freaking needle. Oh, so good.
Yeah, you ain't gonna get no. I mean, he stabs a lot of people in this. The Mexican dude. It's not a bad movie. It's probably a 7 out of 10. But it just. If you think they're going to go do something new with the Terminator franchise, this is not your movie.
This is just more of the same.
Yeah, the blonde woman that's protecting the Mexican girl, that's Kyle Reese, pretty much. The Mexican guy is Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, pretty much. And the only side thing is you got Linda Hamilton and Schwarzenegger to the side going,
Okay.
So And the reason why Schwarzenegger helps them is beyond retarded. I'm just telling you that right now. And I don't want to ruin for anyone. You can tell me tomorrow. Maybe I'm all wrong, and maybe I just saw something different. There is the opening scene. They de-aged Arnold, and they de-aged Linda Hamilton, and they got the kid who played Terminator in the second one.
Edward Furlong?
Yeah, they made a CG version of him.
Oh.
So that's the opening scene. I won't go any further than that, but that did.
Sounds good.
So Disney's not the only company with de-aging software.
God.
They had it too. 7 out of 10. It doesn't.
7, not a usual Steve 6.
It's probably 6 if I really think about it. Probably 5.
But your love of Terminator kicked you up a notch.
My love for fucking Schwarzenegger and stuff.
Yeah.
Just stop these movies at this point, or mix them in with Alien and Predator or something. Do something different. That's my problem. It's 6 movies, with the exception of the one that they go into the future with Christian Bale. The other 5 are the same goddamn movie over and over.
I only remember
that, right?
the first 2. I've
the
seen
third one was a Terminator coming back in the past.
Which is that the Claire Danes?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the twist on that one, she was female. It's the same storyline. So then they go to the 4th one. They went into the future. Everyone shit.
That was the Christian Bale one, right?
Yeah.
I remember enjoying that.
Yeah, and that was different.
He was John Connor, future John Connor, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they did something different. And even Genesis, which everyone shits on too.
I don't remember what's the plot on that one.
They went back in time right when Kyle Reese is meeting Sarah Connor. So they kind of messed up the original timeline this time. And John Connor ends up being manipulated and destroyed in the future and turned into a robot and gets sent back in the past too. That was the catch. And the funny thing about that was the commercials ruined it before you saw the movie. Like, you didn't know John Connor up to the point that the movie got released, so everyone was pissed at that. Well, now we know he's going to be turning into evil. But it was a little different. So you can shit on Salvation and Genesis, but at least they tried something different. Where the other 3 and this one, 4 movies, same beat for beat plot lines.
Send someone to the past to change the future.
Yeah, like I tell Charles, super smart robots. Our only plan is, I'm going to send someone to the past.
Well, you got time travel.
How about they just kill all the vegetation and food in the future, then humans will just die out from starvation? Why didn't they just do that? I just spitballed that right on top of my head. I'm not a supercomputer.
So instead, attack the food?
Just eliminate the food. Your enemies will just die out because they can't eat, right? I don't know. Anyways, I'm thinking too much. I
got to tell you, though, if I'm building a top 10 list of all-time favorite movies, Terminator is in the conversation.
Terminator 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, fantastic movie.
They probably just should have just stopped after 2, really. Let's be honest. I know the money.
Terminator 2 is so good.
Stopped after 2, or just went into the future and did the future movies. Because, I don't know, at this point, it's the same goddamn thing.
I got to tell you, though, but time travel stuff can be really complex and really cool if done right. If you get something
like
cool.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future is fantastic, except for the new Marvel movies that apparently threw all those rules out
except
the
for
window.
Avengers Endgame. That's a whole other rant. Steve can go on for about an hour on that one.
Changing the rules of all things time.
Yeah, it's like there's 500 movies established in time travel, but Avengers comes along. I'm gonna shit on all that and wipe that away.
That didn't matter.
Yeah, it's like, get out of here with that.
Get out of here, Ruffalo.
Like, goddamn Ruffalo, he ruins everything. Just be Hulk and smash things. You can't even do that right. He became super smart Hulk.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's Terminator. I was hoping for a much, much, much better movie. Got an average movie. It wasn't. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It's probably got the up 2 points because of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. But I mean, the guy is likable. I like. I watched James Gordon a bit where he. You ever seen that? Spill It or Eat It or something. It's a table with all gross things like fish guts and stuff. And they ask hard questions. It was him and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And if you don't answer the question, you got to eat the gross stuff.
It's either A or B.
Yeah, Schwarzenegger just answered everything. He was just like, well, let me answer that. He's like, I have to be honest. I thought this was going to be a tough question. He's like busting Gordon's balls all the time.
I love Arnold.
It's a great segment if you get to watch it. But anyways, if Arnold wasn't in these movies, it'd probably be a 4.
Real quick, so I watched this GQ thing on YouTube that was it was about Arnold, so I clicked on it. That's what I do. It was him discussing his most iconic characters.
I saw that. I didn't watch it, but I saw the little thing
and then there was also, it led me to another one I might have to go back and watch all Arnold movies and then all of John Goodman movies too, because like John Goodman did the same thing where he broke down all of his characters too. The movie The Babe with John Goodman is just fantastic. Can we? He says he wants to redo it because he loves Babe Ruth so much, and he hates all the things they got wrong in the movie and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he's too old to do it now.
But it's just what he's just talking, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Those are two guys that I'm just like, I'll listen to you guys talk. What do you guys got?
What are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
I just want to hang out with Schwarzenegger and blow shit up in his tank.
Dude, I'm into it.
All right, so now we're going to talk about. For some reason, HBO decided they're going to just bring
big dump, man.
They're going to bring the pain here
Yeah.
end of October, beginning of November, and one of my favorite shows.
Do you think? Hold on. Do you think that this was shots fired at like Disney Plus, Apple Plus, all that kind of stuff that premiered?
Well, that and they got to keep you. I mean, because they kind of space their stuff out. So you had the ending of Game of Thrones, and you had Gemstones and Ballers. So they're trying to space their stuff out to keep you watching all
keep
year
that
long.
content to keep.
I
those
think it's more that
subscribers.
than to shoot at Disney, but you never know. It doesn't hurt to have this stuff. One of my favorite shows, kind of an underrated show that's on HBO, is Silicon Valley.
But the past few seasons without
they've
certain
lacked a little
characters are not as funny. You got to
Yeah.
admit, like,
What's
and they
his name?
also dialed back Guilfoyle and Dinesh has been dialed back. I would argue. So and I'm sure people listening to this show of all people has watched Silicon Valley. It's a fantastic show. Don't get me wrong.
yeah,
It's
it's
one of
fun.
my favorite ones. Mike Judge, the creator of Beavis and Butthead, is a big attachment to this. But everyone sees the Thomas Middleditch guy, the guy that was on the Verizon ads.
Yeah, he's in the new Zombieland too.
So they're doing this whole. Now their whole plot is they're trying Web 2.0, which is a decentralized internet, and this company's now. It's kind of neat because it's this huge mega company.
Yeah, and they started off in a garage pretty much.
Yeah,
at one
and so
point.
that's kind of neat. And I got to tell you, I'm into the show, but again, we talked about first few seasons of that show were phenomenal,
Yeah.
and then, like I said, you know, Jin Yang is back as I see.
the Chinese guy steals everybody's stuff.
I love Jin Yang.
Oh, man.
dude.
And that crazy billionaire dude that drives like the hot cars.
Yeah, he shows them with all intense.
And then
dude.
Big Head is always got his double golf.
Yeah, dude,
I mean,
so
it's a
great.
good. They got great characters.
And the fact that Amazon bought Hulu, but he tore up the deal because they were getting rid of the Hulu name.
yeah. Now he owns nothing.
Fantastic show.
It
But
is-
all I'm saying is the first few seasons were, again, some of the best shows you could
Yeah.
watch.
What is the name of the guy?
Erlich Bachman is the guy who
The
plays
actor.
him. I know who you're talking. He was off the Emoji Movie. I
Yeah,
don't
he's
know.
been on a ton of stuff. Miller or something. Isn't
Yeah, I don't know.
he's off it because he had that weird sexual assault charge. On
There's a
him.
weird, and he kind of left kind of dirty too. He kind of ripped on the show
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
It was a bad
He
departure.
was pissed because they didn't support him. I can't. His last name's Miller. I can't think of his first name. He was in Office Party. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Funny
Like,
dude,
big
man.
guy, curly hair. Usually got a Fu Manchu or something.
He's a really funny
he was
guy.
if you like any kind of tech stuff, you don't have to be a super tech guy
They
to watch
explain
it.
a lot. They do a good
They-
job.
They do a good job, and it's all it's in the West Coast. They're trying to make a
It's all
startup.
startup stuff.
And, yeah, the show's winding down, but this is the last season.
Is it the
Yeah,
last
said
one?
the final
Yeah.
season. The day before the premiere came on, they had a marathon. I caught myself watching like 4 episodes.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was like,
That
oh
sucked,
man.
dude.
I
That
do
Guilfoyle character is funny as
him
hell.
and Dinesh going at each other.
Dude,
the
the-
one Dinesh bought a gold chain. They just ripped him so bad over that gold chain for and they got that tall, creepy guy off The Office. I can
Yeah,
never think of his
the HR
name.
guy. Too.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
half-ass in love with the main
I love
guy.
that show. I do. But all I'm saying is if you're going to look and grade those seasons, the earlier stuff is so much better.
Yeah. If you catch a marathon on HBO, definitely do yourself some service and watch it.
At this point, if you're invested, I'm sure you're already going to watch this season. But if you're going to come to start, it definitely peaks earlier, is all I would say.
I feel when it comes to comedies on HBO, this, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Veep are probably your 3 best comedies you're going to see on HBO. Right, that's pretty safe to say, right? Ballers isn't really a full-fledged
and any
comedy.
Danny McBride stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah. Anything Danny McBride's doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to come back with a season 2 of Gemstones. I hope so.
It looked like they left it for one.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we see a season 2. Who knows? He's
You
always
get about
doing
2 or
something.
3 seasons, 8 episodes.
Yeah, the Vice Principal is great, by the way. I forgot about that one.
Long Goggins.
Now, last week, I happened to catch this because it came on right before I was waiting for John Oliver and didn't get John Oliver. I got this one. So if you remember correctly, Bad Moms came out about 4 years ago, right? This is Katherine Hine. This was the movie she stole, I thought, personally.
She's a funny chick. She's also in Step Brothers and a lot of Will Ferrell movies
Yes,
as well.
yes. Katherine Hine. You'll recognize her if you guys
She's
look
a
her up
good-looking
online.
chick, and she's funny.
Yes.
At the same time. But
Probably
so
in her
she's,
40s, right?
They gave her own show on HBO. It's a half-hour show called Mrs. Fletcher.
Yes.
And it's an empty nest divorcee. The kid's moving on to college, and this is about what does this mom do now that her life and her dynamic of her world
And
has changed.
full disclaimer, it's not funny at all.
It was really dry.
I was like,
really dry.
I don't think it's supposed to be humor. It's based on a book series.
Oh my god!
Because
So
I researched, I was
subtle.
like, was that not supposed to be funny? And from what I understand, the guy who wrote it, he writes a lot of like male and female drama, so it's not.
Ooh, Steve,
it's
man.
only a 1-season deal. It's a miniseries. So, but I like her.
Is she like they're implying she's gonna like get with like young dudes in it and
it
stuff
seems
like that?
it. I don't know if this is like.
I don't know, man. It was a tough watch. I was admittedly.
I'll watch again this tonight, but if it's and I hated her son in that movie. Did you? I
He
wanted
was
to punch the guy
oh
in the
my
face.
god,
He's doing a great job as an actor. If that's what they told him to be a douche, he was great at
well
being a
cast,
douche.
sir. Well,
yeah,
played.
yeah. They did a
He
great
was driving
job.
me nuts. But at the same time, a single mom's got to be a little tougher, and she just was like, I'd have
Yeah,
smacked the
she's
shit
waiting on
out
him
of
hand
that
and left,
kid.
packing his car. But listen,
Yeah.
you're gonna be late for college because I pack shit for you.
Well, and it was good too to see like the dad was kind of absent, like his true biological father was like, I can't make it, buddy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like so, like he said, I'm gonna give it a couple more shots. I do like Katherine Hahn, the chick who plays the lead,
Yeah.
just based on like the lineage of it. But man, I was hoping for a little chuckle here and there, man.
She stole that Bad Moms movie. She was when me and Michelle saw that movie the first time. I go, I don't know who that girl is, but she's hilarious.
Yeah.
And I found out it's Katherine Hahn. And then same thing. Tiffany Haddish did the same thing with that movie she was in with Queen Latifah and all them. She stole that movie, and then right after that, she went on to do a bunch of movies where Katherine Hahn hasn't. She kind of just. I don't know why that is. I don't know. I'll be missing the boat. If she's taking this serious stuff because she thinks she's a real actress or something, that's going to be a bummer. Because I think she's really funny. She's missing a calling as a comedic actress.
Yeah.
Now, this next one, I don't know what this is. I
So
missed
this is called Catherine the Great. This is Helen Mirren as it's about Russian royalty in that weird Renaissance time in Russia where they tried to kind of replicate. So this is set in that weird like monarchy time in Russia. I got to tell you, I hated this show.
When was this on? Was it
This
on
I
Saturday,
don't know.
Sunday,
I caught
Friday?
it on my on-demand
I
app.
didn't even see the ads for this.
Let me tell you something, Steve. This was one of the hardest watching shows. I'd rather watch Mrs. Fletcher 10 times.
Oh, then I'm really not going to watch Catherine.
So
the
this
Great.
is again, it's one of those shows that's published or not published, but produced in conjunction with BBC America, like how they did Chernobyl. Looks fantastic, budget through the roof, but I just don't give a shit. I don't know what's going on.
It's so
I just
boring.
don't care. So Catherine the Great led like an upheaval against this Peter character. So now she is queen. She's a former German who married this Russian czar or whatever and then forced this overthrow. And she's super paranoid, but then she's also in love with this like general character. It is awful. This is one of the hardest watches. And I mean,
I don't even remember seeing, because usually when you watch a show, they put 3 or 4 new show previews on.
Yeah, correct.
I don't remember seeing it for this
yeah,
one.
this Steve, don't even bother beating yourself up over it. This is awful. I don't even think I'm gonna watch episode 2. I'm just like, I'm not even like, hey, let me see what's going on here.
Yeah.
I just don't give a shit. This was brutal, and it felt like you know how. And again, Chernobyl's a perfect example of we can take history and real world events and then kind of put like a cinematic spin on them. And then you're like, okay, I want to know what's going on, right? This looked beautiful. I don't give a shit about the source material. I don't care. It's not interesting. I'm not like, oh, what's going to happen or whatever. It's played fantastically. It reminds you of like a British drama, but man, the source material is shit. It is just not good at all. I did not like this show. Catherine the Great is a huge thumb down.
Avoid so not everything we put on the podcast is something we
Dude,
love.
I'm telling you.
Avoid Catherine the Great. Now let's get to it because I'm
Talking to things I don't love.
I'm waiting for it to get better. Watchmen episode 2
So
a
now
giant crane came down and took a car away, or spaceship. I'm not sure. With the black guy in the car.
Yeah, and Don Johnson's a friggin' Klan member.
Yeah,
that she had to wear Scooby-Doo goggles to find.
Yeah. But she
Oh
did
my
mention it was
God.
awful convenient that now when Don Johnson died in the first episode, I looked at Michelle and go, I bet you he's in with the racists. And then they conveniently did that in episode 2. So now it's telling me
Do you care?
no, at this point I don't.
Oh my God.
And then Jeremy Irons is having plays with guys in blue with their dongs hanging out.
Dude, and he's killing people?
He's got clones all over they're clones of I guess they got clones of his
Steve,
butler.
I don't care. Again, here's another show where I'm like, what is happening? What do we
They
care?
gotta start explaining some shit quickly because I'm losing it too. I'm really losing
The
interest.
whole episode was to this last reveal, which I just didn't give a shit about.
Yeah, then a spaceship took the blame. Even the actress playing it goes, what the hell is going on? That's the same thing everyone watching said.
This show is brutal.
I mean, I don't know if they're gonna. Now there's an FBI agent being introduced this week. From what I understand, and again, I have to read online to figure out what the fuck I watch.
I shouldn't need homework to know what's going on in the
She's
show.
somehow related to Silk Spectre, who was one of the Watchmen in the original movie, if you remember. The girl that fell in love with the Owl Man and Mr. Manhattan.
I don't care.
I know.
I mean,
I'm going to watch, but I'm losing interest by the minute.
I'm
I don't
just saying,
know what
Steve.
the hell's going on.
so it's
going to
be on again tonight. And then the other one, there's the premiere of the Manuel Miranda, or the guy from Hamilton, is in his Dark Materials, which
Yeah,
is
but
based.
he's not making that. That's a big thing.
Oh, I know, but it's based on a literary work or something like that. This again, by the trailer, I'm intrigued. I got a polar bear in armor.
Did you ever watch The Golden Compass?
No.
That's what this is. This is what. I'm very familiar with
Is it a
this.
retake of the Golden Compass?
Yes, yes. So they put out the Golden Compass movie. It had starred Nicole Kidman and a couple others back 7, 8, maybe 9 years ago. My wife, this is based on a book series. Allegedly, I think the guy who wrote it is an atheist, so there's a lot of undertones about atheism and stuff in the book. So a lot of people, there's a little bit of backlash. I don't know. But anyways, whatever. She read the book series, really liked it. We went and saw The Golden Compass, and it was a turd sandwich.
So they departed from the book too deeply.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
this is going to correct those departures.
Yeah, so this is embracing everything.
Okay.
And now, from what I saw in The Golden Compass, it kind of neat. So you have a spirit animal. Everybody
Mine's
on
a polar
Earth.
bear.
Everybody on Earth has a spirit animal. No, yours would be like fucking Magoo or something. And
No, it's a polar bear.
Oh, it was a polar bear. Okay, well, mine's a penguin. So everyone naturally is walking around with just a random animal that they have. They're not pets. They're like part of their soul, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like a weird thing.
So in other words, if the animal gets whacked, it's going to affect you.
Yeah, something along that lines. The bears are like they live. They're the one in the Golden
Protectors of the
Compass
realm or something?
Yeah, he was smart and talked. I don't know if they're going to talk in this one.
I don't know.
So
I got to tell you, it looks beautiful.
yeah, and I know
I'm
James
definitely-
McAvoy's in it.
I'm into getting some more content. I'm open to a new show. I will definitely watch this. So far,
What time tonight is that supposed to be on?
late tonight. I don't know. I don't know.
Probably
I
10.
catch it on demand.
Watchmen's on at 9. That's probably going to be on at 10. Then Mrs. Fletcher will be on at 11.
So what you're quantifying to me is I get no new Johnny Oliver, and now I'm getting pissed.
Well, he disappears for like 2
I know.
weeks
I
at a
hate
shot.
it. It so pissed me off.
I know. We usually record them and watch them on Mondays, but
I watch them on demand on Mondays.
Yeah,
so.
But this Dark Material, it does have a
So
heat
it sounds
following.
like you guys are, especially Michelle, having read the books, you're as intrigued as I am and open to
I
a
was
new
gonna
idea.
watch it.
Because right now, those HBO shows, the only one that's banging for me is a show I've been watching for 6 years. So I don't know, or 6 seasons.
I did read recently, if you have AT&T Uverse or DirecTV Now or anything like
That
that.
doesn't exist anymore. It's AT&T TV now.
Yeah, whatever it is. Whatever. So if you have an AT&T TV service that allegedly when HBO Max launches,
give it to you.
you give it to you for
Yeah.
free. We'll see how that goes. So I have Uverse. I'm going to be like, where's my free? And they'll be like, no. I'm like, God damn it. So
Especially with
anyways.
all the streaming services dying on the vine.
Yeah. So that's our little recap of HBO, what they have going on. So we got Dark Materials. We got Watchmen, which no one knows what's going on. Charles watched Catherine the Great, was bored to piss out of him. Mrs. Fletcher, where the comedic actress is not doing comedy. And Silicon Valley 6, which isn't as good as the first 2 seasons. But other than that, they're doing
Well,
great.
hold on. Still a good show.
Yeah,
I don't
still
want
a
to
good
say
show.
it's not a great
Yeah,
show
yeah.
because it is. All I'm saying is it's not
Right now, it's up there for me. I don't watch as much TV as you and Michelle, but my top 3 comedies are Superstore, Goldberg's, and probably Silicon Valley. Right now, that's on TV.
And we've talked about this before, and as Christopher asked you about Superstore the other day, Superstore's doing a really good job with the Mateo stuff.
Yeah,
they're keeping it still really lighthearted. Yeah. It's been very good.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I got screwed up because I watched a little bit of the Superstore this past week, and Dino's wearing the same costume, so I thought it was a rerun.
Oh,
I was like,
she wears the same police. Is she in the same police office?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm gonna turn this off. I was like, oh, it's not a rerun. So I thought that was
Garrett
funny.
struggling with her boobs hanging out or anything like that again?
No, he had a whole thing with Glenn this time.
Oh,
because Glenn's super afraid of haunted houses, and they made like a makeshift haunted house. He left his cell phone in it. You didn't watch this week?
No, don't spoil it, man.
Okay. It's a good one. It's a good one. All right, so next up, I didn't watch this. Charles did. Back from the 90s, Arsenio Hall, smart and classy. Tell me about it.
So it seems like, to your point, or Eddie Murphy came out with the Dolemite stuff. Now they threw this at Arsenio Hall. He even addresses the fact that they're making a new Coming to America movie. So we're in that.
So do you think Arsenio Hall just sat at home waiting for Eddie to come back to work?
Let me tell you, his comedy tells me that he's been sitting at home not writing. Because I got to tell you, and again, Steve was said it early. I don't love everything that's on this show. This is one of the few stand-ups that I was struggling to get through. Ooh. I did not like it.
I don't.
It reminded me, and again, Arsenio is someone who had a late-night show. I would argue that his stand-up material is written like an opening monologue of a bad stand-up or a bad late-night show.
Have you ever seen Jay Leno stand-up?
No.
It's very similar to that, too.
I hate that type of stand-up because I guess I'm hypocritical because Dave Chappelle was very topical, but I feel like his stuff is so timeless and so good. Like that topical stuff doesn't hold up. Like it just doesn't. The reason why Bring the Pain is a phenomenal stand-up is because you could watch it in 2019 and it's as funny as when it came out in the 90s.
Right.
Like, and a great stand-up is that timeless kind of. It's a funny story no matter what time it's in. You know what I mean?
Right,
like. This stuff is like, dude, I got to read the newspaper or Huffington Post, and it's just like, oh, let's talk about Bill Cosby.
So, did you hear that story about Trump the other day?
Yeah, and it's like, dude, this is just brutal.
I'm not a big fan. Jay Leno's a lot like it too.
There was some funny stuff when he was talking about how everyone's baby toe is messed up. That was kind of funny. I did chuckle a little bit through that, but man, I got to tell you, this is not good. I'm waiting for Coming to America's sequel.
You know who else is stand-ups like that? Ellen DeGeneres. Hers is a lot like that too. Ellen, Jay Leno's, and probably now Arsenio probably all in the same kind of, almost like show host type comedy.
Yeah, it's not good. Like, there's a reason why, to me, late night is so hard to watch. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, I'm a huge Conan guy. We've kind of talked about it on the podcast. I just don't like that format. I think Conan is a hilarious guy. Get him out of that format and just have him do, because he's funniest without borders. And then, like, I would say Arsenio Hall's a funny dude. But, like, he just can't turn it off. And I would say Jay Leno's even a funny dude. But, like, you just get caught in that.
He has a show on CNN about his cars.
Jay Leno's Garage. Yeah. It's on
I never watched
CNBC.
CNBC. Yeah. Okay, I knew it was something like that.
And I know that because I watch a ton of Shark Tank. God. You know who loves Shark Tank?
Your daughter?
Your niece. She loves Shark Tank. It's so good.
Oh, that's funny. So there you go. Arsenio Hall, not the greatest for Charles either. So now I'm really not. I told Michelle we were going to watch it this week, but no, I don't think so.
Yeah. Not good.
So let's go on a trip, Charles, to Saudi Arabia.
Let's go to Saudi Arabia. It's quite a trip.
This past week, it was on Halloween. It came on, I think, 1 p.m. On the WWE Network. Wow. I did not watch it, full disclosure. Bill did. I was texting
Do
back.
you still have the WWE Network?
No,
you
can't.
canceled it. But BB still has it.
Let me tell you something. As a stockholder, you motherfuckers need to sign up.
Oh, yeah.
A business report came down. Their subscriptions are down like $1 million from the previous year.
Oh.
Their stock went from $66 to $55 in one day.
$11.
I was like, God damn it. I'm going to lose all my money. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Don't worry about a fat guy's money. So let's talk about Crown Jewel. This was the big pit. They brought a lot of guests in. The opening match was Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez.
Cain Velasquez.
Velasquez, sorry. Now,
Brown Pride.
After doing a little research, AEW was after him, too. So WWE got in a bidding war to get Cain.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I did not know that. The match was about 2 minutes. Cain Velasquez is hurt. in real life.
Okay.
He's got a bad knee.
That's why he came down in the jeans, you think?
Yeah, and that's why he had that big robo knee on. So they did a quick squash match, like BV would say. Kane got a couple punches in. Lesnar pulled out what is that arm submission move? He does it in wrestling now, the Kimura or whatever it's called. And he tapped him in it was like 2 minutes. It was like over super quick. And then so it was a total shit show. Then Tyson Fury and Strowman wrestled. That was the other big
Tyson Fury's the
promotion.
gypsy.
That went a little bit. They said that was a better match. It lasted about 5-6 minutes, and then Strowman got counted out somehow. I don't know the details. I didn't see the match, so it made it look like Strowman's not a bitch. He didn't lose straight up. And Tyson Fury. They said Tyson Fury looked like he was having a blast doing it the whole
That's
time.
good.
So, but
You think he'll be back?
No, from what I understand, the match was
Payday
terrible.
now, yeah.
The match was terrible, but it did what it needed to do. And then also, now before I get to the championship match, there was Saudi Arabia, this is big news, there was a female wrestling match.
With exposed skin and everything like that.
No, they did not.
They covered him up.
So it was Natalia Neidhart versus, I can't remember her name. It's Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans usually comes down like a pinup girl from the 40s, but, like ass and tits
Fishnets,
hanging
yeah.
out, tied up shirt in the middle with the boobs.
What happened?
They had black, skin tight suits on from head to toe, and then a T-shirt over that. So,
whoa!
So Natalia had a Neidhart pink T-shirt.
I am shocked that those chicks did not flip out about that. I really am.
Yeah, they did it.
They must have paid him a boatload.
And then they also had to wrestle out of character. So Lacey Evans supposed to be a villain and mad, and Natalia's they had to smile a lot, shake each other's hands when they did before the match. Yeah, and then after the match, they had to be super friendly to everyone on the outside of the ring.
I am shocked that these chicks agreed to that.
Yeah, but the Lacey Evans girl was crying because they broke. It was historic or whatever. But
I am shocked.
It wasn't your traditional wrestling stuff.
I am shocked that they're listen, I am who I am, and it doesn't change. Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's why they picked these two because I'm gonna assume
we'll probably push them back. Yeah. What are you talking about?
And these are the only two they could get to do it probably. So they
must have paid him a boatload.
Yeah, if you get a chance, you should see the outfit.
I'm gonna Google that.
It's it's like a scuba suit with a T-shirt over it.
Yeah,
you can't see a thing. All you see is their head and their hands. That's
when I take Lorna to swim class, a lot of girls have those.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what they.
Heather gives them a name. They're like a discretion suit or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that was the big female match there.
That's shocking. I'll be honest with you.
There's a big 10-man tag match: Team Hogan versus Team Flair. Team Hogan wins. Roman Reigns, of course, spears everyone in the world and wins. And then the championship, the guy you love with those weird ass skits.
Oh, that's just terrible.
He wins the title finally at Crown Jewel, and they wrestled again with the red light on the arena and stuff. Yeah, it was terrible. It was like a hardcore type match. Which was weird because The Fiend is on SmackDown. Lesnar is on SmackDown. Now both championships are on SmackDown.
Oh, jeez.
But then this Friday, Lesnar came out with Paul Heyman and said, I'm out of here. I'm leaving for Raw. And then just left. That's what he did. So that's what they're going to do. So there you go. There's a little look at what happened in Saudi Arabia. Now, there was a little bit of, a lot of guys had troubles getting flights out. There were some kind of flight issues. Oh. But they ended up making it for SmackDown in time. Now, Survivor Series is in Chicago this year. So I thought it'd be kind of cool if the tickets are reasonable.
You and BV roll out.
Yeah, get a couple of us go down there and see it. But then when I look up on Ticketmaster, they're $150 a ticket.
For in the way up, according to your comments.
Now
here.
I did find cheaper ones on StubHub, but these are literally at the roof for $85. And I was like, no, it's not that fun. I mean, I'm thinking $45 for some nosebleeds or something, but 85?
You make a cheap trip out of it.
Yeah, I would go to Chicago, see Bill, and hang out and see it. But yeah, so they may be struggling for attendance, but they're still charging quite a bit for their tickets. I thought that was kind of funny. And finally, we recovered this last week. That WWE 2K20 is such a train wreck. That PlayStation,
they're offering refunds.
They're offering refunds for the game if you bought it digitally on the PlayStation.
Wow.
And they say they almost never offer refunds
because it's so broken. Is that how they're saying?
Yes, because it is so many glitches in that game that you can get a refund from the PlayStation store.
That's
if you bought the game.
And to your point, I don't think I've ever heard of that. There's tons of games that ship broken. I've never heard of give refund.
Yeah, usually they just wait for a patch or two and forget it.
Like day one shippable patches.
PlayStation is cutting cutting their losses and saying, anybody want a refund? That's how good the dividend. Now you know why the stock went from $66 to $55. There's a little look at wrestling this week. Not really too much AEW. That was just that was last week. I'll get some more AEW next week. They're having a big pay-per-view coming up in the next couple of weeks. So let's move on to our favorite pastime, football. And I got to say, Thursday night game, we covered the Thursday night game. Most of them are shit. But this one ended up decent.
Did you end up watching most of it?
Yes,
it looked
I
like they
did.
kind of 4 touchdowns for Garoppolo.
Yes. Now, what the Cardinals do, they did it to the Lions. They've done it to a lot of teams. They let you get a big lead, and then you just fall asleep. And the Cardinals just work their little jabs and come right back in the game. So 28-25, the 49ers put away the Cardinals. The 49ers now are 8-0 at this point. Are you aware of that?
That's crazy.
They're the sneakiest 8-0 I've ever seen. But they're a pretty solid team for what I saw. I mean, the defense was solid. They got a good run game. And Garoppolo was dropping dimes on people, you know?
I think a lot of it's behind their defense is what everyone keeps saying. So I don't know much about it. It's that deep West Coast team. I just don't watch a ton of that.
Yeah. So, and then the other good games I kind of try to highlight, I thought was going to be before the podcast, was Eagles and Bears. Bears did score 14, but it was
like 12-0 or something like that.
It was 19-0 at one point. Yeah. So the Eagles added so the two good games, actually, the one I bitched that's not on television was Vikings versus Chiefs.
Yeah.
Chiefs scored Matt Moore was the quarterback for the Chiefs, by the way. Last second field goal to beat the Vikings, 26-23 in Arrowhead. And then your boys.
Yeah, 4-4, baby.
I don't know. Maybe Vinatieri just jumped the shark in one game. He had a block kick, and then he shanked a field goal.
Well, if you watch the previous week where he had the game, that was a bad, wasn't it? They showed it real badly. Sanchez screwed that up.
Yeah, go figure. Sanchez.
So the previous week he missed an extra point and had to nail that because he's got some Quakerness to him.
This might be the last year for Mr. Vinatieri, the oldest man in the NFL.
The one I noticed too. So at one point the Panthers were up 24-0 on the Titans, and now the finals 30-20. Like
the Titans came storming back.
Carolina really screwed that up.
Yeah, and then another late game shocker: the Chargers are pounding it on the Packers. Was it 26-3 at this point?
Yeah, 26-3
in the fourth quarter. And the Browns, they just can't win. I'm sorry. What the hell? Talk about crumbling. And now I want to cover one last thing. Before. I went to the gym this morning after I dropped Holly out because she was going to rake the leaves. And, you know, I'm on the elliptical. Get the fat butt moving. I'm watching that London game.
Yeah.
That Gardner Minshew is the biggest piece of crap. I missed the first half. So I watched the beginning of the third quarter to the end of the game. He holds on to the ball forever. As a former lineman in my arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the 5-second mark, he's still running in circles. What do they see in his? Well, I know he's a backup because Nick Foles got hurt. But, boy, he is terrible. I'm sorry.
What about, and I texted you earlier in the week, J.J. Watt's out for the rest of the season again.
Yeah, there's a shocker. I get, you know, I don't want to cap on a guy. Whatever. I know I'm a fat guy on a couch somewhere. Jesus Christ, can't you make it through a season?
He tore his pack this year?
Oh, my God.
Now, these Lions are tied 24-all, it looks like.
Oh, yeah. But that's typical Lions, though. They should be stomping the Raiders, and there they are. They're probably going to lose. But that's a little look at the NFL. Now, we got a Sunday night game tonight. And this is
a good one.
This might be intriguing. I think it's in Baltimore. Patriots versus the Ravens. Who are you liking this one?
I like Baltimore if it's in Baltimore. Just because I like the home team in that scenario. Plus, Lamar Jackson seems to be giving some teams fits. So,
yeah,
the Patriots are not going to go undefeated. At some point, they've got to drop one. I think this is a possibility that they might lose one here.
No one's figured out how to stop Lamar Jackson yet.
Yeah,
it'll happen in a year or so. All of a sudden, they won't be.
They
able
get
to
that
score
tape
anymore.
on him, and
then just like Kaepernick, where he blew through the league for a year. So I like Ravens, Patriots. Ooh, this is a hard one.
I just think the Patriots are due to drop one to get that pressure off the undefeated stuff and all that.
Patriots.
It's not going to mean much thing in the bigger sense of the picture, but I think that I like Baltimore tonight. If I had 20, I'd lay it on them Ravens.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you, but would it shock anyone if the Patriots?
No, not at all. But I
but,
just think
yeah.
at some point,
I think it's gonna be like 20-17, kind of lower on the lower end.
well, that's what the
Patriots
Patriots
defense
are
pretty
defense.
good.
Yeah, this year.
And they're pretty good at making young quarterbacks look stupid. So now the Monday night game is another who cares, just like the Dolphins and
This
the
is
Steelers.
a brutal one here.
Cowboys.
First
at
of all,
the
I
Giants.
cared last year. How dare you?
Cowboys at the Giants. The Cowboys are going to win this, but I think it's going to be way closer than it should be.
You think so?
Yeah, because the Cowboys,
Giants are so butt. Did you watch them against Detroit last
yeah,
week?
but they still threw 4 touchdowns
Yeah,
against
I don't
Detroit.
know, man.
24-17. I like the Cowboys in that one.
Yeah, well, you like 24-17 seems to be your score, right?
No, I said 20-17 for the
Oh,
Buffalo.
jeez. Give me the Cowboys. The G-men are terrible.
Oh man, but the Cowboys aren't all that hot. They
I'm not
lost to
saying
the
the
Jets.
I know, but I'm just saying, like.
So that's a little look at the preview of the NFL and what's going to happen this week. Now let's go back in time to the college games last night. I watched this
Kind
one.
of a bad weekend for
Yeah.
college again. We're back to we're very peaks and valleys in this college football season.
Alabama was off.
The top 3 were off.
LSU was off. So there wasn't a lot of. Who was the third one?
Ohio State was off. Weren't
Yeah,
they?
you're right. And the one late game and it was kind of nice to see two teams.
No, it wasn't. This was terrible. This is that bullshit AAC conference.
SMU versus
Who
Memphis.
cares? What a useless time for Chris Fowler and Herb Street. No one. It was like no defense.
Yeah, my thing was too. That game felt like it was 9 hours long.
Well, yeah, you're throwing every down.
It was such a long game, but it ended up 54-48. Memphis beats SMU.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, well, it was kind of in the background when I was playing
Yeah, I was
Costa
like,
Rica.
there's no way.
I kept playing Costa Rica and thinking, that game's still on? Also, I didn't put it on here. Oregon, they beat up on
Yeah.
USC. They're the Pac-12.
Utah won again, it
Yeah.
appears, yeah.
They're the Pac-12's hope for a playoff appearance right now. And now, if Notre Dame didn't shit the bed against Michigan,
Oof.
Georgia defeats Florida
I watched it.
24-17.
The game wasn't as close as that score reflects. Georgia had it in hand, and all he had to do was get a first down. They definitely did, and stuff like that. I watched this whole game on CBS.
And, yeah, I missed some of it. But, yeah, so Georgia's moving up the ranks still, and if Notre Dame didn't shit the bed all over the place.
They just really are just trying to screw the.
Oh.
They are trying to make this season a complete abortion. They
Now,
really are.
my other note on this is Clemson's playing Warford.
Dude, yeah, no, but you talk
Warford-
shit. But at least they're playing them right now. Bama will play like some scrub the last week of the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. So then let's talk about our Irish. Wow.
Ooh, man, Steve.
Brian Kelly gets one good season out of a quarterback, and then they all become retarded. I don't know what it is. I don't know if opponents catch up with what they're doing.
They also had that big lineman go down too, which could could wreak havoc. Who do they
21
got
to
next
20.
week?
Well, they got Duke coming up, and that's not going to be easy. Now that I've watched them versus Virginia Tech, so Notre Dame squeaks it out. Ian Book looks like lost at times. I don't know what it is.
He had a couple picks. It's bad.
It just looks. It is Duke next week.
Yeah.
And Duke.
That Navy game isn't easy either.
Yeah, and Duke isn't all that bad.
Sad that we're looking at those going, well, it could be tough. You sound like a Big Ten fan.
I don't know what's happening Notre Dame. It's like they switched momentum with Michigan.
Dude, I don't know.
Michigan couldn't get out of their own way.
That
to begin the season.
rained on their whole season.
Oh my God! And washed their brains out. They're all terrible. But the
But
good
there's
thing
a
is,
huge game that's coming up this Saturday. The
so let's
big
preview it.
game.
This is in Tuscaloosa.
It is. Oh, game over for the Tigers.
Coach Orgeron is going down
Oh,
to
it's
Tuscaloosa, or going up to Tuscaloosa. LSU versus Alabama. What do you see in this game? Trey?
I think Bama's going to win huge. But they're
Huge?
huge.
Huge?
I've called for LSU's demise this whole season and been completely wrong. I'm just telling you, I don't believe in LSU. I haven't all this whole season. I've been entirely wrong. But this week, I will be proven right with a backup QB because Tua's still out with the high ankle
but
surgery.
they're on a bye this week.
What's that?
He's not going to be back next week.
I don't know. Well, I'm sure BB's screaming at his podcast right now, going, "You idiots!" But yeah, I like Bama in Tuscaloosa.
I think this is going to be like that game they had not too long ago. It's going to be like 12-9.
Yeah.
No touchdowns. It's going to be grimy. But Georgetown's going to lose because Bama's going to beat the piss out of them. I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I really don't.
I like Bama.
LSU's kind of proven themselves over the year now. They beat quite a good array of teams. So, but they just have that jinx against them against Bama. So that's why I think Bama in a close one. I like Bama. That's the big game next week everyone's looking for. I don't know who Ohio State plays, but
they got that Penn State game right around the corner. Yeah. Not right now.
Penn State, Ohio State's coming up too. Yeah, this weekend just was not that exciting for college football. So it was a good weekend to get some.
It's kind of been like that though. It's peaks and valleys everywhere.
Yeah, you get the one big game you want to see, and then the Lions just lost the lead, 31-24. They're going to lose to the Raiders because that's what the Lions do as soon as you get hope behind them.
Oh, wait. Ohio State's got Maryland this week, and let any U of M fan tell you.
So Ohio State didn't have anyone until the last two games of the year, right? Penn State.
Those are big games right in a row.
Yeah. So
those are big games.
It'll be a good test for them. So if they win both of those, they should be in the playoffs hands down. So there you go. A little look at the football this week and very interesting things. And Gardner Minshew sucks. I know he's funny. He's got a big mustache, and a porn company wants him as a spokesperson. But yeah, no. All right, so let's go to rapid fire this week. We got some interesting ones coming out. Maybe one you might want to see with your dad. So there you go.
We're all supposed to go see that.
Yeah, what day do you want to see that? Sunday?
Sure.
Okay, I'll talk to Dad and make sure he doesn't have a job. All right, first one up. This is a kid's movie. It's a no-name company that made it. It's Arctic Dogs.
Jeremy Renner is the voice of the main dog.
Yeah, and he's crazy. He bit his son or something.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So I'm a no on Arctic Dogs.
I'm a no. Maybe Lorna will watch it on Blu-ray or something. But
most likely. Next one is the half-ass sequel to The Shining.
Yes.
Dr. Sleep with Ewan McGregor. Ewan or whatever.
Ewan.
Stephen King movie. Stephen King's very up and down with me. But Randy and I at work did search all the they make a lot of movies based on his stuff.
Just now came to this.
It's like, wow. I thought it was just horror movie based, but then you realize, you got the Stand By Me's and all this other stuff. Yeah. But anyways, Dr. Sleep is a no for Steve.
A huge yes for Heather, who wanted to see it, my wife, but I'm a no, but hopefully she has a friend she can go see it.
Someone's going to the movies with his wife. The next up is the one where all the dads are going to go see, most likely, is Midway.
I have high hopes for this, but I hope it's not super digital.
I hope it just doesn't end up like Pearl Harbor.
It looks very digital, I'll be honest.
So Woody Harrelson's in this, Patrick Wilson, a couple other big stars. I want to see Midway. I'm a yes.
I'll go with you and Dad. I'm a yes. I'd go see it.
Now, next up is a total train wreck.
This movie looks so
Nickelodeon and WWE together have made a movie called
Google the trailer.
Playing with Fire, starring John Cena and
with that
other
weird
guys
hair. It's weird hair, John Cena.
I don't even think kids want to see this. I'm not sure who wants to see this. If this makes any money, it's just based on his name. So I am a no with Playing with Fire.
I'm a huge no, and anyone who goes and sees it, shame on you.
I want to keep track of the box office for that one, though.
It's more than $8 million. It's too much.
Yeah, if it makes over $2. And lastly, the girl from Game of Thrones is putting on a Christmas movie with the tall Asian guy from Crazy Rich Asians. I don't know his name off the top of my head. Last Christmas.
Based on the George Michael song?
No, I don't think so, but they're probably going to stick it in there somewhere. I'm a big no. It looks like a terrible romantic comedy based on Christmas.
I'm a what? I didn't even know what this was until you put this on the list.
That's how good her career's going. Charles has no idea what she's in. So that's it for the movies this week. Quite a few of them, actually. And as Christmas comes along, you'll see more. And if you have a chance, check out the Jumanji 2 trailer.
Yeah, those games are fun. And Kevin Hart back to being normal again.
Yes. So, and now on Blu-ray /digital comes Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. I would not go to the theater to see this. I am interested for a couple bucks to see it, so I'm a yes.
It screams rental.
Yes.
I'm a yes for a rental.
Rock is like a modern
punching people while you're falling off skyscraper. Okay.
Yeah, that turned my brain off. Here's one for Bert, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. This was a generic horror movie that came out over the summer. I don't know if he ever saw it. He said he wanted to see it. I'm a big no. I don't want to see this piece of
This sounds a week late. I'm a no.
Yeah. Now, this one is Kevin Costner. I've heard a lot of positive
This is a Paramount Network TV show that my in-laws love. He runs a ranch, but it's in modern times and stuff like that.
And since nobody has the Paramount Network TV network,
First of all, Ink Masters is on that network.
Oh,
Bar
sorry.
Rescue and Ink Masters are fantastic shows.
I might eventually catch this, so I'm a yes if it ever shows up at Family Video. Yellowstone.
Heather watched it, did not dig it, so I'm a no. She would have told me it was something I was into, so I'm a no.
Next one is The Kitchen. This is with Melissa McCarthy and Tiffany
serious
Haddish.
with
and the
tons
girl
of comedy chops and serious.
Yeah, so I got to know what it's like, so I'm going to be a yes. I'll watch it.
No. Tell me when they do a comedy together and I'm all in. This is a no.
And then the last one's Good Omens. That was that Amazon series that I sat through, and I hated it, so I'm a no.
What? I don't even. Did you talk about it on here?
Yeah. It was about heaven and hell, and there was two angels, an angel and a devil.
Is this with Ian McShane?
No.
What's the Ian McShane where he's the devil one?
That's God, American Gods.
Oh.
He's not a devil. He's like a god of some sort.
I'm a no.
Yeah, I didn't like it. It had a dude. It's one of the dudes from Doctor Who and somebody else, and Amazon really promoted it, and it was terrible. On streaming this week on Netflix, Queer Eye. We're in Japan. I've never watched an episode of Queer Eye on anything, so I am good.
I used to like Queer Eye when it had Tim Allen on it, but now he's on Chopped. So, or not Ted Allen. Ted Allen.
I was gonna say Tim Allen.
Tim Allen from
Buzz
Home
Lightyear was on
Improvement.
Queer Eye.
No, Ted Allen, who's on Chopped. I'm a no. I don't watch the new Queer Eye at all.
The next one, this is a movie.
The trailer looks good.
Yeah, but then I read it's based on Shakespeare and a lot of Shakespearean stuff. So The King. I'll let Charles watch it first, so I'm a no.
Yeah, I'm a yes, because I'll watch it first for us and let you know.
And I watched the first season of She-Ra, the animated series, in hopes I would see He-Man.
Was it CG?
No, it's
2D.
old school. Yeah, it's 2D. It's terrible. So I'm a no on season 4.
I just heard it's terrible. I'm a no.
I sat through the first season and I couldn't make it much past
Wow. No He-Man in it?
that. No, they're doing a He-Man animated series.
Is there Orko?
No, there's nothing with He-Man.
Man at Arms.
There's a little bit of Hordak. There's a little bit of She-Ra, and that's it. Everything
Castle
else,
Grayskull?
no,
Eternia?
no, man. They're not even on Eternia.
Speaking of that, too, speaking of awesome toys, the toys that made us, they just put a trailer out. They're going to make another season of that show on Netflix. That's a fantastic show.
Yeah. So, yeah. But He-Man's coming big next year. They're going to get an animated series. There's going to be a new movie.
Okay.
He'll become
Who's
streaming
playing
back.
He-Man?
Some nobody I've never heard
That
of.
could be good.
But he's not very big, so I don't know. Maybe he's going to work out a lot. And then finally on streaming,
He's got to
this
get on
week-
the AEW juice.
Yeah, Jack Ryan season 2, as we covered earlier. I'm a big yes on that. I will be watching it.
I tell you what, if I ever get like a month of free Amazon, I definitely got to check out the Jack Ryan show. I'm a big fan of John Krasinski.
Yeah.
I really do like him. You're kind of lukewarm on the first season. You liked it, but it could have been better.
Yeah. But it wasn't bad. It's not one of those things I watch and go, it's not like Watchmen where I keep watching and going, why am I watching this?
Yeah.
So, and then on games this week, I just thought this was funny because they're still making these. Just Dance 2020. I didn't know they still made these. I'm a no. My wife owned one on Wii that we played for about 10 minutes. So no.
I'm trying to get Lauren into gaming. We talked about getting her a game console for Christmas. She's still not into it. She's still into her Roblox, but maybe this is one of those entry-level
Well, is
games.
Roblox on the Switch?
I don't think so. It's a Minecraft thing, but I guess I'd be a no, but maybe if I can get my daughter hooked a little bit.
Next is Death Stranding. This is the big one by Hideo Kojima or whatever. Kojima. We and Charles talked a lot about this during the week. I'm a big no. It does not look exciting.
Yeah,
to me.
wow. It's got Daryl from The Walking Dead. I tell you what, the visuals on this game look amazing. I don't know what the hell it's about. You're strapping boxes to your back. You're strapping a baby to your chest.
You're a UPS driver, you're a
This is
delivery man in
kooky.
the apocalypse.
Steve read some early first reviews. They said it was a hot sandwich, a turd, but it looks amazing.
Yes.
I'll wait and listen to what the Giant Bomb has to say about it. But I tell you what, man, the visuals.
Yeah, the only problem with that, it's almost like what I just did with Terminator. A lot of these diehard video game reviewers are just so
Give it a
much
pass,
huge fans
yeah.
of this guy. And
Kojima.
Yeah, so. And Need for Speed Heat, I can't believe they keep making these things. I don't know who's buying them. I'm a no on Need for Speed.
Is it anything like Burnout Paradise? That's one of my favorite games of all time.
That's not the Need for Speed.
I don't know,
choice.
but is it just like a sandboxy type
I don't
of
know.
game?
I don't know what it is, actually.
I don't
The
know
last
what
one
it
had
is.
like this story in it, and they had Aaron Paul was one of the main characters.
Oh.
It was
I'm a no then.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
And I have this one on Xbox. It's a 2D platform or 3D platformer. New Super Lucky's Tale. This is just the same game redone for Switch. You're a little fox and you run around collect things. Since I have it on Xbox, I don't need it on the Switch, so I'm a no.
No, I don't even have a Switch. So
Yeah. You have an Xbox, though.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some pugilism, because I heard The Rock was sniffing around the UFC somewhere.
Yeah, so big UFC event took place, UFC 244 from Madison Square Gardens. Jorge Masvidal fought Nate Diaz for the BMF belt, and that's what Steve was talking about.
The bad motherfucker belt.
Yeah, so they made up this whole belt. It was really cool. I admit, if I didn't have to work today, I probably would have got this UFC event because there was a lot of hype around it. And I talked at the previous week's podcast. The undercard shaped up to be pretty good, too. So that's why I was honestly a little compelled. From what I'm gathering, though, on the results, and I'll go over them here in a second, it wasn't that amazing. It probably looked a little better on paper. A lot of decisions, which in my UFC world, I don't want too many decisions. I need some people getting dropped.
Yeah.
But so Jorge Masvidal, they stopped the fight. It was a championship fight for the BMF belt that The Rock was going to strap to him. In between rounds 3 and 4, the doctor from the New York State Athletic Commission stopped it because Nate Diaz got a gnarly cut, dude. Oh, my God.
I saw the highlights. I did see
Holy hell. Did you see that cut, Steve?
Yeah.
That dude's, he was ready to go. Like, they had to stop him. Like, that's crazy. I don't know. I guess, they're going to do this again because that Nate Diaz guy's insane.
What's he going to do, fight in a helmet? Because he got to get mushed
Dude,
up again.
I don't know.
The other guy had no cuts or bruises on him.
Dude, I don't know, Steve. They're crazy. The other thing of note at this UFC tour, they booed the shit out of Trump. Trump showed up. Did you see that highlight
No, I
at
didn't
all?
see that part.
Trump showed up because it's supposed to be his crowd. Dana White's a big Republican guy. The crowd let him have it, dude. He was in New York. He ended up watching it in like one of the club rooms there and stuff like that. And it didn't go well for Trump while he was there. Again, just to round out kind of the undercard, Darren Till got a decision over Kevin Gastelum. These are two good welterweights that are kind of in that conversation. Stephen Wonderboy Thomas got a decision over Vincente Luque. Derek, my balls is hot. Got a decision.
My favorite fighter.
Yeah, he got a decision over Blagoy Ivanov. Again, decent card.
Blagoy Ivanov, you think he's from Georgia or Florida?
Yeah, he's probably
Pretty American.
He sounds Virginian. To me, I'll be honest
I think
with
so.
you. This also sets up for next week. There's a crazy UFC fight night from Russia. Some CSKA arena in Russia. A whole bunch of Russian dudes I put in here. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to massacre these dudes' names. But Greg Hardy was on it. Greg Hardy is taken up for someone else. He's got a quick turnaround. I talked about how Greg Hardy got busted for using an inhaler in between rounds. Yeah. The funny part was Greg Hardy's an idiot. So he called out Derek Lewis about, like, I should be able to knock him out. And Derek Lewis, my balls is hot, was like, he called him up and he goes, I can't breathe because I beat my wife Hardy. I just think it's funny. I think it's going to lend itself to a good event. There's going to be two big boys beating the shit out of each other when they finally go toe-to-toe. And my money's on Derek Lewis. You know me. I don't like Greg Hardy. I think he brings the sport down. I think that the UFC should want nothing to do with the guy, but I'm not Dana White. I don't make those matchups. But,
yeah, it makes money.
But anyway, I thought it was really cool. And like I said, the whole Rock involvement and stuff like that. And anytime you can get, like, that BMF belt and stuff like that, that was kind of cool. Like, don't take yourself so serious. I know that UFC's trying to be a real sport, but that's the crowd wants to see, that kind of stuff. They want to see two guys go toe-to-toe and beat the hell out of each other. And I think that the UFC played that really well.
So there you go. A little bit of The Rock and Madison Square Garden. Can't talk right now. And then my balls is hot. Derek Lewis versus Greg Hardy. That'd be a great one. So watch Greg Hardy.
I just thought I can't breathe because I beat my wife. He kept saying it too.
So I got a couple random news notes for everybody here today before we head on out. First up, in Ann Arbor, this was in Michigan actually. This was on MSN. A bunch of college students were protesting at a local McDonald's for the unethical treatment of chickens.
Okay.
Don't mistreat chickens. McDonald's.
Were they serious, or were these like drunk college kids?
They're serious. They had signs and.
But how many other fast food places don't treat their chickens well? I mean, why are we attacking?
I don't know.
I'm not here to defend McDonald's ethics. That's not what I'm here for. But, like, I mean, how did we end up at McDonald's?
And the Lions just lost.
And the Lions lose.
Jesus Christ.
It's a weird one. I get your show. You're like, really?
And a random McDonald's, not even at their headquarters. It's just a random McDonald's in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, so some poor shift manager was like, there's like 8 hippies out here.
Yeah, so I just thought that was weird. I mean,
were they doing it for publicity, obviously?
I didn't read the whole article, so I'm not quite sure, but I just thought it was kind of stupid, to be honest with you. Yeah. So, our food, you can't mistreat chickens now, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
But again, it's like, is KFC ethical in their treatment of chickens?
I always read that KFC grows mutated giant chickens.
Yeah, with the huge breasts and stuff like that. They can't even walk, right?
Yeah, they just cut their
heads off. And then, what about like Popeye's chicken with those crazy chicken sandwiches?
Yeah, but no, they treat the chickens right.
Somehow we're just picking on McDonald's.
They give the chickens a massage, some sunglasses. They give them a couple drinks before they cut their heads off.
Seems like we were looking for publicity.
Yeah, it's just a weird one. I thought that was kind of unique.
And must have been big enough MSN caught up to it. So
yeah. So there you go. Don't mistreat your chickens at McDonald's. I don't care how tasty those nuggets are. AT&T recently, as you know, is going to be the owning company of HBO Max, and they paid those boys over at South Park $500 million.
This seems really huge to me.
To have the streaming rights to South Park.
How much did Netflix pay for Seinfeld's rights?
About the same.
You're telling me that South Park in 2019 is worth the same as Seinfeld?
Seems it, yeah. I want to say they might have paid less for Seinfeld, to be honest, but I'm not sure.
Does this seem crazy to you, or is it just crazy to me?
Yeah, a little cable network show that ends up selling to $500 million.
Do they assume that kids are going to binge watch this? Like, they think they got the new Friends? Is that what they're trying to do?
Maybe, yeah, they're trying to get edgy comedy. Maybe they're like, well, they're also going to be homes to Rick and Morty, too.
So they're going for a whole Cartoon Network angle.
Yeah, maybe, or edgy adult almost. Since they can't get The Simpsons and Family Guy, maybe they're going to go the other route.
Legit style, when was the last time you watched a South Park?
It's been a while.
Been a long time. Like, I was in high school when South Park.
I want to say high school, but maybe 10 years ago, though. It's been a while.
Been a long time. I don't know.
I mean, I catch a clip here and there for something really funny. Someone post a clip, but that's about it.
$500 million seems like a lot of cabbage.
Yeah, it is. And that's the tip of the iceberg. I mean, they also paid for Big Bang Theory and some other ones. I don't know what they paid for that, but that seems to be the thing. These streaming companies all getting a bidding war over these old
and I think
shows.
That we live in that post-Friends world where somehow that hit, just like The Office, is so big right now. Like, people are coming to The Office, and my wife's students sit there and talk to Heather. Like, we're like, well, yeah, we watched it. How many years ago? I don't. It's so weird.
So yeah, you got Holly's generation right now. The 12 to the 15-year-olds watching The Office and stuff. So when Lorna gets up to 12 to 15, when she starts getting
what's going to hit her?
What is hers? Is it going to be South Park? I don't know.
Yeah,
is it going to be
weird?
Maybe it'll be Superstore. I don't.
Yeah, but then it was weird to me, and like we talked about. We'll have already watched it all.
Yeah,
we're
just the old dinosaurs that have seen it all. So it'll be new to them, though. I guess new to you. Isn't that what they call it? And then also in the news, Charles and I are both big fans of the Fitbit. It tells you get up and walk, fatty.
Get your Versa on, yeah.
And little note: if you don't have a Versa or a Fitbit, Black Friday, Kohl's is going to have them for $100.
The Charge 2s or the Versas?
The Versas,
which is normally how much?
$170.
That's a pretty good deal.
So that's not bad. I think it's a doorbuster though, so you might have to fight 37. You might have to elbow some middle-aged
Kohl's, man.
Yeah, you're going to throw some elbows there, but they are going to have Black Friday.
It's a good product, man. I got to tell you. So, Heather's got a Charge, whatever it is. I've got the newer Charge. You've got that Versa. We're all huge fans of them. I think they work really well. Yeah. The one thing that we can't say enough about is the battery life. Like, I don't have to tend to my battery that often, and I'm kind of happy about that.
Yeah. It is. Got pretty. I like the little feature. Yours don't have it, but I put a bunch of music on mine, and then I got the wireless, and I just walk down Van Born cruising to my own music because I hate carrying a phone with me in my pocket. Especially when wear sweatpants, so like the one side of your sweatpants is everything. So
sweatpants are the worst for that.
Yeah, I know. So.
It's like, dude, I'm about to be butt naked here.
So, but Google has bought Fitbit and the big thing is the number. I didn't think they're going to be worth this.
Yeah.
$2.1 billion with a B dollars.
Also known as 4 South Parks.
Yes, yes.
Just so we know.
Wow, I couldn't believe how much Fitbit sold for. Now, Fitbit, from what I understand, the CEOs and stuff were looking to sell the company and get out of this. So they really got the golden parachute with the Google
and I was breaking your balls earlier in the week, but there are a lot of people had a sentiment of like, okay, so what does that mean? Are you going to let it die on the vine like these Googles tend to do? So.
Well, when I go to check my steps, I got to sit through that 10-second Google commercial. Oh, man.
Apparently need a Pixel 4 in order to know.
Yeah. I got to go get a Google Home right now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So there you go. There's the news. Nothing too major. Just McDonald's likes to molest chickens. South Park's worth $500 million. And Fitbit's worth $2.1 billion. So Fitbit is worth more than South Park. We learned that today. Now, what were you going to say about comedians, Charles?
Yeah, so
we do watch a lot.
Yeah, I watch a ton of stand-up, as do you, and we talk about it all the time. I think we're pretty big fans of it, and we're that target Netflix audience. But, like, the one thing that I also listen to a lot of podcasts, and podcasts are really big with stand-up comedians, right?
Yeah.
They all are whining about how hard it is to be a comedian right now. Yeah. And it's kind of like, I get it, like this whole woke culture and all this kind of stuff, but like, here's a Dave Chappelle, doesn't give a shit. He's just doing his material, and he doesn't care whether you like it or not.
Well, he did have a joke where he ripped on the crowd.
What's that?
In his last special.
Well, yeah.
Whining and bitching. That's you!
Yeah, I guess you're right.
He kind of did poke a little fun.
I don't know. Like, to me, and I put it in here as a part of the rant, just don't show your dick to people. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's like, oh, poor Louis C.K. He's running around showing his dick to people. It's not funny. It's just weird and creepy. Like, just, still do your material, have a good viewpoint on stuff, and don't worry about what people... You know what I mean? Like,
side note, he's supposed to come to Detroit within the next couple of weeks.
I didn't...
He's going to be at the Fox, I think.
I didn't like Louis C.K. He wasn't huge for me. I know that as comedians, they just loved him. And, like, Sarah Silverman's, like, trying to justify him, like, jacking off in front. It's so weird. I don't know. Like, there's certain people in our world who did that. And it's like, dude, it's fucking creepy. Like, regardless of which, like, it's not... This isn't new. You know what I mean? It was never funny to jack off in front of someone randomly.
Yeah, man or female.
Yeah, it's not. It's like, it's a weird thing. And people are like, oh, I just don't know what to do now. Just don't show your dick.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, people...
And don't be overly racist, I guess.
Or like be hatred. It's one thing to have a funny take and an observation on something.
Yeah.
The other thing is just don't spout off racist shit to be hateful about it.
Yeah, don't do it with Michael Richards.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just one of those things that's kind of struck me funny because Arsenio had a bit into it, and you called me out. You're right. Dave Chappelle had a whole thing. Like, every comedian is like, I just don't know what to do. Yeah. Like, just bring up funny observations that people find lighthearted and enjoyable. Like, you can bring up tons of stuff about being a white guy as long as it's funny, but then they're like, oh, well, you just don't understand. Like, stop worrying about what the fuck Twitter has to say. The only
thing I hate about that is when they do their jokes, and then they get a little backlash, and then they go on Twitter or whatever and start apologizing left and right. Like,
just be who you are.
Yeah, just like Gilbert Godfrey,
Oh, I don't know much about it. I don't know. He lost the Affleck gig.
Because he made a crack about the tsunami in Japan at the time. And then he had to go on and apologize, and he still lost the gig. So it's like,
you might as well just stick to your guns.
Yeah, at that point, just up all your... I appreciate like people like Charles Barkley and people like that who just won't apologize.
Just don't care.
Yeah,
like, at some point, do who you are and stop worrying about corporations giving you a bunch of money. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's kind of my whole take on it. It's just like, they're all hiding behind, like, it's such a hard time to navigate and all this kind of stuff. Just keep your dick in your pants and do what you're going to do, but don't come at it from a hateful angle.
I got to admit, though, it is hard to keep your dick in your pants.
Yeah, and I think that's one I keep bringing it up because, like I said, like, so many people are trying to justify the Louis C. That's not funny. It's just creepy and weird. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to say that, like, it just... I can't. It's one thing we talked about it in Righteous Gemstones, how Danny McBride has a dick quota where he always gets to show a penis every episode and all that kind of stuff.
It really does.
But like, if you're just somewhere randomly and like a dude comes into the room with his dick out, that's not funny in any scenario. I don't care in 2019 or 1985. That was not funny. I want to make sure that we understand the differentiation here. It's like everyone's like, it's just so hard to navigate these times. No, it kind of isn't. You know what I mean? Like, don't be a hateful, racist piece of shit and keep your dick in your pants. This is all I'm trying to say.
Simple.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my rant.
There you go. Now, the other thing, when I'm looking at it, you have Family Guy on DVD, all of them sitting there. So I'm thinking, now, Disney already bought 20th Century Fox and they already own Family Guy. But if they didn't, and they had to go to a bidding war for streaming, do they go more than South Park did for $500 million?
For like The Simpsons? Yes.
No, not The Simpsons, Family Guy.
What I'm saying is The Simpsons are more than South Park, and I believe that the Family Guy is going to be right in that same ballpark.
As The Simpsons?
No, not in this as The Simpsons. They're going to be in that South Park area.
$500 million.
$500 million. I think the South Park one's really high. I'll be honest with you. I mean, someone might be a huge fan out there. We talked about like the Rick and Morty thing. It misses me. I can't explain it, but so does Adventure Time. Adventure Time misses me.
Out of like, what is there in Rick and Morty? 20 episodes a season, 13 episodes?
Sure.
1 or 2 might be funny, and the rest I just don't get. It's like,
I'll be honest.
I tried to like it. I watched a lot of it, and I was like,
and I was a huge fan of The Simpsons. I think that The Simpsons has changed drastically since Family Guy came along. I think that the older Simpsons had a different take and cadence to them than since Family Guy hit. So really, for me, the best cartoon right now, I watch Family Guy every week, but it's Bob's Burgers. Me and Lorna watch it every week, and we laugh, and we have a great time with it. It's just, it's super good. Right. Yeah, I mean, they're doing a fantastic job. Do you watch any of the new stuff? I haven't really watched any of the
Hearts
new...
or whatever?
Yeah,
I watched the first episode. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know.
They built like this clubhouse in their backyard. It tried to be white trash, but it wasn't white trash. It
just missed the mark somehow.
I didn't dig it. But, again, it's first season. Maybe if it makes it to a second season, which I don't think it will. But So, all right, you guys can catch us out there on iTunes and Google Play and everywhere you can catch podcasts. And, of course, you can go to fatguyslittlepodcast.com. Now that we got the stream working, you can also catch us on Facebook.
Took us a while. We were a little late today.
Some technical difficulties. Next week, I don't know. We don't have anything for a taste tip for the big 70th. Holly does want to come on before Christmas.
Okay.
She wants to do a 2019, what she liked and didn't like all year long.
Oh, she's got a whole
she's had a whole thing listed out of the blue. She told me that today. So
I'd like to have Tabitha on for snake questions 101.
Oh yeah, we'll bring Tabitha on with Holly, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I know Tab's that type that likes to have a family with her. So until next week, this is Steve
and Charles,
and catch you next.